Oh, drat. I was driving along minding my own business when that vulgar leech hit my Beamer with his pickup truck. I fear I've fractured my clavicle.
I say, old boy, don't simply put it in the hands of your insurance company to sort it out. Talk with the dedicated road solicitors at the Advocates Law Firm.
Pipe down, you old sod. The Advocates will see your case through to the bitter end and won't sleep a fortnight until they have victory in their grasp.
Jolly good, old man. Jolly good indeed. You get injured, the Advocates get results. AdvocatesLaw.com.
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. As we continue to listen, learn, and grow, we are amplifying Black voices and perspectives in an effort to start a new COVID-19 vaccine conversation. We're sharing stories intended to help us navigate this unprecedented time together and to co-create solutions in support of the Black community. Hear these stories at weconsiderwa.org.
What's up? It's your boy, The Ted Smith. Thanks for listening to the Men's Room Daily Podcast. Want more? Check out the greatest podcast in all the land, The Podcast. Be sure to subscribe and listen to a brand new episode every Tuesday night.
Back to the conversation. This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. 99.9 KISW.
Got a text the other day with a bunch of peaches on it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Millions of peaches?
I thought, are these peaches that are for free? Peaches
That must
for
be
me?
what it is.
Millions of peaches? Huh.
And again, that guy now writes children's songs.
They can predict
my fainting couch.
They predicted the future there. Still to come, Ryan Castle will join us. We will sin spin. Feel a little bit older today with 10 essential albums that turned 40 years old. Basically, they're as old as Ted. So these are albums that came out in 1981.
Difference is, I didn't buy Ted with my allowance money and listen to him.
Yeah, these are some, you'd be surprised, man. It was a hell of a year of music. It really was. And Ryan's
It was
got
great.
It's hard to believe that these albums are 40 years old.
No, it's hard for us to believe they're 40 years old.
That's true. We'll have them coming up with Ryan Castle as we'll sit and spin right after emails on our question. What exploded, blew up, or went pop? 206-421-ROCK.
We brought up that cyst I had in my ass. Well, it did blow up. But that got some response. It says, oh my God, I'm eating lunch and just puked a little in my mouth. Oh. Someone else said, I had to lance a boil on my inner thigh. I was broke, did it myself. That ends with good times.
You eat lunch at like 3 o'clock?
Someone else says, I just had to throw out the rest of my turkey, bacon, avocado sandwich. Thanks for the story, gentlemen. Hey, I had a thing on my ass. What do you want me to do?
Look, we'll help you lose weight.
Somebody else says, I'm totally naming my rock band Butt Puss. Suzanne checks in with, remember that time the show almost made you throw up? I do. It's today. LOL, you had me at butt puss. And someone else says, I had an abscess, how do I say this, on the bullseye in the back. Hurt so bad I couldn't sit. After the doctor proceeded to look at it, he said, yeah, that's a nice one. He gave me a shot directly into the danger zone, which was the worst pain I've ever felt. Well, right before he was about to lance my Southern Traveler, I like that, the pressure buildup had it bust. And because I was numbed, I couldn't feel a thing. However, I felt the sensation of fluid running down my legs and satchel. Doctor said I had over 6 ounces of pus. Sorry, Mike, did not realize you were eating.
What are you? What is that, soup? Yeah. What exploded, blew up, or went pop? 206-421-ROCK.
Hello, Susie. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Yeah.
Hola.
Yeah.
I'm Gigi Woolman.
Welcome to the show.
Yeah, so we were living in Vegas.
What are you living there now and screaming this to us here in Seattle?
It's like you're at the bottom of the well.
Do you have a phone that you're using that you can talk into?
No, I came home to take care of my mom. Anyway, so my son was about 4, and he comes running in from the backyard, and he's got his hand, he's screaming, it's pop, it's pop. And I'm looking at him, and his fingers are all black and burnt and bleeding. Now, he was a total pirate. So I had my daughter hold his hand underneath cold water in the bathroom, and I went out to go see. Well, to my surprise, I found about 4 burnt books of matches and his little mini hammer and 2 .22 caliber bullets that he found in a truck that my husband bought.
So did he blow his fingers off, or did he just fire out of his hand?
It actually, the bullet never ejected. The casing exploded.
Okay.
So the piece of metal went in his big toe, too. But I'm wondering, why didn't you get the nickname Puss Man?
Wait, what now?
Why did you get the nickname Puss Man?
I did not have the nickname Puss Man until you just did it right now. Because I puss on my butt from a thing.
That's somebody's grandmother.
Keep in mind, she's there to take care of her mom. I pray for her mom.
Well, I get using speaker, but you got to recognize how far away you are from the phone.
Well, yeah, I feel like you're at the bottom of the Grand Canyon and you're yelling up to us for help.
I also believe that if you're on speaker, you need to tell people you're on speaker.
Actually, you don't have to because we can tell. The difference is take it off of speaker and talk.
I called my dad this weekend just to see how he was doing, check in on him. I'm about 5 minutes through the conversation where I'm like, Dad, am I on speaker? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, dude, tell me when I'm on speaker. Like, you know what I mean? I wouldn't.
Was there anybody else there?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
Well, then you have to say
yes.
it.
I'm like, Jesus Christ, dude. I mean,
Didn't you say you had what? I think it was Bernie you said, right? It's either Burris, is either DB or your buddy Bernie, Tab. You said, like, you called, and before you could get a word out, is like, you're on speaker in my car.
right.
It's Bernie, because he has children.
Yeah.
He'll just be like, you're on speaker, the boys are in the back.
Before you say anything, please know this.
right. I mean, I thought that was understood.
Yeah, generally speaking.
Yeah, like if I'm at home and it's just me and I put somebody on speaker, I wouldn't tell them, but it doesn't matter. There's nobody else
No
there.
one else there to hear.
Right,
But
exactly.
you're right. If there's other people in the room, and also, if you're walking down the street, stop using speakerphone.
Good God, please.
And if
Can
you are,
please stop
you don't
doing
need to look in your phone because you're not on FaceTime.
Right, they can't
You know
see
what I
you
mean?
looking at
I think
them.
sometimes they are.
Maybe so.
Sometimes, but people do have a habit of staring at their phone as they're talking. I'm like, you know, like they can't see. Right? All you got to do is talk.
What exploded, blew up, or went pop? 206-421-ROCK.
Well, while we're talking about things on your butt, says my dog, a pug, gets impacted anal glands sometimes. I'm very happy to say that's not something I've had to deal with my dog.
Ooh, that's a smell like no other.
They're corroborating. It says I can tell because when they're laying on me and relaxed, the butt juice leaks out of my clothing, and it smells like rotten fish. I express the glands myself with gloves on the tile kitchen floor instead of paying the vet $20+ to do it. Well, usually it sprays/drips onto the floor for easy cleanup, but once it squirted up onto my face and landed on the lens of my glasses. Thank God I was wearing glasses. So gross. That from Stephanie.
Damn.
That's not. Have you ever done that?
I've been cleaning up leaks, but I'd never have expressed.
Yeah, it's Castle. Castle loves bulldogs.
Ooh.
The problem with bulldog, it seems like they have a proclivity for that, and there are times in the past where I've known he has had to do that, and just to look on his face explaining what he had to do, I'm like, that's not something I ever want to do.
No.
He's like, no, it's really, truly not.
And it just seems like it's just dogs.
And me.
Like, I mean, a cat. I've never heard of that in a cat. I've never heard about it. Maybe it does happen with other animals. I am not.
But even then, it's only like she had a pug. He has bulldogs, so it's just those wrinkled up, shriveled things.
Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Nah, Mom got to do it for his pit.
Really?
yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. Why
Ooh.
is it just dogs? I mean, you'd think that
okay with
everybody's got an orifice back there, so you
Right.
would think that, if this was something that was
What do they do?
right, that we don't. I mean, I don't. If I drag my butt on the carpet, you know what I mean?
Maybe that's it.
Get on my haunches and just scoot on the floor a little bit to itch my.
Do we have those kinds of glands?
That's what I'm asking.
I mean, it's an anal gland. I don't know.
Yeah, but
I hope not. I mean, you would think a dog looks at its anal glands
maybe
like
it's
we look at our
maybe
appendix.
it's because they don't take care of themselves when they're done doing that. Like, in other words, we clean up afterward. Maybe it has something to do with not cleaning up afterward.
Yeah, but
then you think that
it's
any
more
other-
than bulldogs and pugs. I mean, like, my
Right.
dog does not wipe. It'd be great if she did, but she doesn't wipe. But I haven't had to express any anal glands on her. And
I
even
think
then,
it's just as simple as it's a dog. It's not a human.
yeah,
I mean, there's a lot of stuff that dogs do that we don't.
sure,
Yeah, but it just seems like they're the only animal you have to do this with.
right. Like,
I'm sure there's other animals that have it. We just don't do it because we don't care about them.
well, true, right. If a grizzly bear needs an anal gland expressed, how would you ever know? You might
that's
say,
on him.
I can't
I guess so.
explain it.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
attacked me for no reason. Maybe that's why.
What exploded, blew up, or went pop? 206-421-ROCK.
Hello, Manuel. Welcome to the men's room.
What a conversation I came into, guys.
Hola.
Hey, 3,400. Congratulations.
Oh, thank you very much.
Yeah, it's a big moment.
That's awesome. And I've been calling you guys many times. You guys always been on speaker, by the way.
Thank you for that.
Yes, because the audio quality is worse.
Yeah, well, because my phone for some reason, my phone don't work when I put it to my ear. Like, no one can hear me.
Okay. You
Yeah,
probably got a really
absolutely.
big jawline, either that or your ears are way up high in your head.
No, my phone's just crappy. I got to change it.
Okay. So what exploded, blew up, or went pop?
Well, I told him one. I told him I had two, but he told me that was good too. Like you, Miles, I had the same situation with the Roman candle. I bought a Roman candle with that had the M80 bombs inside, so it will shoot and explode. Apparently 8 of them were in there, and I counted 7. You gotta keep counting because you don't want that thing going blowing up in your face. I counted 7, and then I just heard boom right inside the Roman candle, and exploded in my hand. Luckily, it didn't do anything to my hand. The only thing was that I had a ring in my ear for the next 10 minutes, and I just dropped it and ran.
I had a ringing in my arm for a week. Yeah,
I had another one. My wife has a thing of burning things for some reason, cooking and whatnot. We had this. I know you guys had mentioned how there was candles. You guys had that. Some people just never used at all.
Yeah,
they're only for decoration apparently. So we had this candle for years, and we went to a new apartment, and she put the candle inside the bathroom, and she said she was going to light it up. I didn't see what candles she took. It was a candle the wax is transparent. It has a wick. The wax is transparent, and inside the wax, you see these coffee beans, and it looks pretty. And I'm like, oh, it's a decorative candle. I didn't know she was lighting that one up. She lit that one up, and it just started bubbling, and just fire was all over inside the bathroom. Like, it was just like the wax or whatever it was just splattering all over the place. And I'm like, what are you doing? She goes, I lit the candle. I'm like, not that candle, that candle. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it works that way. And she grabbed water and threw it on there, and it made it worse. I'm like, oh my God. We were there for the first week, and she's already burning everything up.
You still with her?
Yes, we're married.
Okay. Yeah, we're married. Trying to kill me a couple times.
Like,
put antifreeze in my coffee.
Didn't you say some woman's
rat poisoning?
Rat poisoning?
Yeah, read that today. Woman tries to kill husband with rat poisoning.
Women love the poison. So, look, if you think your wife's trying to poison you, she might already be in the process of doing it.
That's not a guy move.
Yeah, just keep that in mind. Like, guys come home, they freak out, and they shoot someone. Women are like, oh, no, I've been doing this for 9 months. Every day taking a little piece of your life.
What exploded, blew up, or went pop? 206-421-ROCK.
Hey, I have great news. We have information on why dogs have these anal gland problems.
Oh, nice.
People do not have anal glands. All dogs and cats do have them. Allergies and food make them fill up and not express easily. Wild animals eat wild food and express themselves.
Oh.
So there you go. I did not know that's what I would learn today.
Hey, Marty, come over here and take care of me. Marty the doe. All right, big buck.
Hello, Hello,
Express these bad boys.
Express yourself.
That's what I'm thinking of.
I got a guy.
Welcome to Federal Express. It's about anal glands. Hello, Brian. Welcome to the men's room.
What's going on, guys?
Hola.
Hola.
Welcome to the show.
All right. Thanks, man. This is the Way High Window guy. What's up, buddy?
How are you, sir?
I'm doing all right. I got a little story for you.
All right.
It's a good time to call the show, then.
What's that?
I said it's a great time to call the show. We're asking questions about stuff blowing up. This is amazing. What timing?
Right. So I was 18 years old, and my buddy gave me a birthday present. It was my birthday, and he gave me a homemade explosive. It was a little bomb that he made out of black powder, PVC pipe, some screws, and some nickels, because that's my last name. And he put a fuse on it from a firecracker. So, the little firecracker fuses are like an inch long.
Yeah.
So I lit it, put it under a garbage can, got about 2 steps away, and the thing exploded, and I got hit in the back with shrapnel. And, I don't know what happened. I went down, and the next thing you know, I heard sirens, and my buddy threw me over his shoulder like a sack of potatoes and carried me home.
How bad was the damage to your back? Did you ever have to go to the hospital, see a doctor?
No. When we got back to the apartment, I just took my shirt off, and I had just little red marks or nickels and screws that hit me in the back. It didn't break the skin, but when it hit me, I felt like I got shot. I went down hard.
You kind of did.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right.
That's kind of how it
Nothing
works.
better than an explosive for your birthday.
Yeah,
especially homemade. That how you know it's safe.
Kind of many got blew up. What exploded, blew up, or went pop? 206-421-ROCK.
All right, this to me, a comment just came in. This to me is one of the worst sounds. Says, I was at work. There was an invisible sinkhole from a broken sprinkler line. I stepped in it, and my patellar tendon ruptured so loud the guy I was working with heard it.
Wow.
That is one of those sounds, man, when you hear someone's head get smashed or like a bone break, anything like that.
I heard an Achilles pop once. It popped.
Was it just like pop? Is it like a
It was a pop so loud that I was like, that's got to be his knee. And he was like, no. And everybody's like, it's probably his Achilles. And I was like, there's no way. right? Because, I mean, you've heard knees pop when they go out of play. So it's like, it was that loud. But it was his Achilles. It ruptured and just...
I don't know if I heard the pop, but I'd torn pectoral muscle.
Ooh.
And that ball's up the same way. Just in the chest. So it looks like somebody put a tennis ball in your boob.
Yeah.
But it's really your arm.
Did you hear it?
It's got to be reattached, although you got to stretch that damn thing out. I was like, oh, God.
Yeah, or like seeing a ball go off somebody's head.
Yeah, that's a different sound, man.
Completely different.
No, it's like a coconut. It's almost like it's hollow. It's like...
But it's wet inside. When we saw the guy get hit by the bus in front of the building, like again, you hear this sound, but even though like you hear the sound and instantly you're like, someone's head got hit with something large, and it was proven when he's laying out in the street with a bus on top.
It knocked him 5 feet forward.
Yeah.
What exploded, blew up, or went pop? 206-421-ROCK.
Hello, Ronnie. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola.
Hey, I love you guys. I listen to you every day.
Thank you, man. We appreciate that.
Anyway, so I got a good, fun story of about 15 years ago. I was on a fishing boat. I was going on a fishing boat in Alaska, and we knew we were going to be in Bristol Bay on the 4th of July. So we went to the reservation.
All right.
And
this is where you go to buy, and we all like piled in and bought a whole ton of artillery. So we go up to Alaska, we do a big fishing run. It's midnight, 4th of July. We decide we're going to put this whole artillery out there and have the only fireworks show in Bristol Bay on the 4th of July. So it's about midnight, and we're putting these things out there, and there's like the full standing by themselves rockets and mortars and everything, and we're like, there's no way we can light all these at once. So the skipper says, hey, we'll just bring the oxyacetylene torch out, which has a 100-foot hose, and we can just run down the line and light them all.
All right.
Yeah. So this is a brilliant plan, right?
yeah,
sure.
Exactly. So we do this, and we stand them all up, and we have all these fishing boats tied up around us who just got done fishing, and the skipper runs through, and we have all these things standing on the deck. It's a 100-foot fish tender. We light them all, and as he goes running back to shelter as these go off, the hose was wrapped around all of them, and they all fell over sideways on the deck of a 100-foot fishing boat.
Then what happened?
And they were all lit.
Yeah, because he went down with a hose.
Imagine what happened.
They blew into the side of the boat.
Whoa, they're all on the deck of the boat, and they're bouncing around inside of the scuppers of the boat and bouncing and blowing up. And I mean, there was some of the big starburst ones and side standing rockets, and things just went off, but they were supposed to go up, not ricocheting around on the interior of the boat. So we're all diving for cover, and needless to say, we put off one of the best fireworks shows that Bristol Bay has ever seen.
Sorry, I missed that.
Yeah.
Sounds fun and safe.
I guess you're not are you still a commercial fisherman?
No, not anymore. No.
Okay. All right.
But, and the fun part was, while I'm diving for cover, and after everything got done blowing up, I realized I was hiding behind a 500-gallon gas tank on the deck. And, so anyway, it was a well-planned fireworks display that wasn't really well-planned.
All right. Yeah.
I quit. I'm officially announcing my resignation.
Taking the rest of the week off.
Yeah.
He's another one of those guys that sounds like he's sending a telegram.
Stop. Right. Fireworks went sideways. Stop.
Yeah, I just wonder what the look on his face is. Like it's he snaps out of it, comes back.
Are you like motorboating your wife and talking to us at the same time? And then we...
was he waiting for us to say more?
I don't know.
He was telling the story.
Well, it wasn't a complete sentence. I figured you had more to say.
Hey, Seahawks offensive line needs to open up holes like that.
That's right.
If they can open up holes like that, Carroll gets his ground game. Seahawks back in the Super Bowl.
Good God.
Our question, what exploded, blew up, or went pop? 206-421-ROCK.
Oh, fiddlesticks! What, Wilbur? We just got hit and I think my back has all been out of shape.
You gotta talk with those whippersnappers at the Advocates Law Firm. They're the best injury lawyers around.
What? Calm down, Clarence. Abner's telling me about the lawyers and the advocates. So what happened to you, Abner?
I was walking across the street with the light when some young punk came screeching around the corner. I lost a toe.
What? Shut it, Clarence. If you get injured, the advocates get results. AdvocatesLaw.com.
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. As we continue to listen, learn, and grow, we are amplifying Black voices and perspectives in an effort to start a new COVID-19 vaccine conversation. We're sharing stories intended to help us navigate this unprecedented time together and to co-create solutions in support of the Black community. Hear these stories at weconsiderwa.org.
Geico asks, how would you love a chance to save some money on insurance? Of course you would. And when it comes to great rates on insurance, Geico can help. Like with insurance for your car, truck, motorcycle, boat, and RV. Even help with homeowners or renters coverage. Plus, add an easy-to-use mobile app, available 24-hour roadside assistance, and more, and Geico is an easy choice. Switch today and see all the ways you could save. It's easy. Simply go to geico.com or contact your local agent today.
The men's room is in progress. 99.9 KISW and KISW HD1 Seattle.
What exploded, blew up, or went pop? 206-421-ROCK.
We got a few comments about our last caller. Because after we're done talking to him, I was ready to turn in my resignation. But this is what the general public thinks. I'll just go through a few. Good Lord, how drunk is this guy? Good story. He's just awful at telling it. What the F man? Did he mention if he was on a fishing boat in Bristol Bay? Get to the point. He's not a storyteller, that's for sure. Someone else just says, wow. Mike, if you come at you, Jesus Christ, Mike, call screen fail. Please tell me when this guy's done. Longest story ever. Today, Junior. Too bad that 500-gallon gas tank didn't blow up. He's killing me.
God.
How many kids does he have? Oh, my God, I want to punch him. Oli S., I wish I could see your faces. Tell the damn story, man. Jesus Christ, say no to drugs. Please do not allow this caller ever to call your show again. Holy Christ. Cut this bitch off. Worst storyteller of all time. Oh, my God, pull the plug. Again for Mike. What the F, Mike? I think a mortar hit him in the head. Where's the monster, Mike? You got to vet these guys better. Was this the marbles guy? It was a well-planned story. Gong that effer. One hit in the head didn't do it. He's like the Seahawks season. I hope his new occupation is not a podcaster or motivational speaker. It's calls like this, and I wish you guys had a live video feed in the studio. I'm glad we don't. Someone else has been to Alaska a few times. My girlfriend's family's from there. Unfortunately, a lot of people from Alaska speak like that with pauses. Thrill, are you going to have your shot of the day early? Someone else, Thrill, it could be worse. You could be at home trying to teach your children.
That's a good point.
Honestly, like, he was taking the pauses and stuff, but then he's like, well, they were shooting on the side of a boat. Or I was like, he's to say in a boat. On a 100-foot fishing boat. Mm-hmm. In Bristol. I was like, damn it!
We know! We know where you were!
Not in Bristol, Connecticut. No. What exploded, blew up, or went pop? 206-421-ROCK.
I like the guy.
It seems nice.
Yeah.
I just don't want to sit next to him at the bar. Hello, Lisa. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola. Save us, Lisa.
What?
I said save us, please.
Oh yeah, well I hope that I can, except I feel like I can't follow that story. I don't think I can. It was so funny. Anyway,
it was gripping.
I started a new what?
It was gripping. It was like a mini-series.
Yeah, I was like rolling my eyes a little. Anyway, so yesterday I started a new job as a lube tech. I've been a lube tech before. I have experience. There was a big diesel truck that had come in. We were finishing it up, but I had to check the oil level to make sure it was all full. And as I'm pulling the dipstick out, I noticed just how close the battery terminal is to this little metal dipstick. And so I'm pulling it out. I'm careful. I get it and I look at the oil. Or no, I had to wipe it off and then put it back in. And as I'm putting it back in, it got stuck a little bit, and it ended up bending the dipstick and touching the positive battery terminal. I tell you, I screamed and was trying so hard not to say every single word that I'm not supposed to say on the radio. I was shaking so bad.
What happened when it touched?
Does it blow? Does it just send an arc into your body?
It sparked everywhere. And so last week during the storm, I watched a transformer blow up right in front of me. Kind of felt like that, but maybe a little less intense than a transformer. But the sparks, and the guy's just calmly in the front seat. He's like, "Oh yeah, watch the battery."
Yeah, thanks.
Like, really? Thank you.
It's like when you slip on ice, people go, "Be careful." Like, yeah, I got that now, dummy. Thank you.
Windstorms and squirrels, two biggest enemies in the transformer.
There was a bunch of singe marks on the dipstick, so it's not like I'm the first one that ever did that.
It sounds like
Why did they put the battery there?
That's what I was going to ask. Yeah. I saw a transformer blow once. Sounds like a bad porn for sci-fi geeks. I didn't see it blow. Heard it blow, saw the light, but wake up in my apartment, it's downtown Baltimore, and it's like the poltergeist, right? So my TV is off, but it keeps turning on. It's just turning on the static, then it'll go out. And you can hear the arcs coming out of the outlets and all this. I have no idea what's going on, but it's going on through the whole apartment. And then there's just boom, all these different colors. And I look out the window. It's maybe 100 yards away, but it was the transformer. I had no idea how much power those things packed.
Oh, my God.
What's weird is, it didn't start a fire. It blew up. All the sparks coming off of it are different colors. I mean, purple, red, blue, you name it. Those colors are coming out, and it's just sparking. Nothing catches on fire, but, your power's out. That's all she wrote. It's the loudest thing I've heard.
It's one transformer. You cannot believe how many different homes and how many different blocks are affected by that one transformer.
Dude, I've been in a car when one got hit by lightning when I was a
transformer?
Kid, right above us. And I mean, the sound, the just sheer terror of it was unbelievable.
I've seen one shoot a squirrel up in the air about 15 feet.
Poor squirrel.
Yeah, and then last summer, same thing in my place. The lights kind of blinked, and then it sounded like that sound, like the yeah. And I was like, "Oh, that's not good."
Well, it started to smoke first,
and then a couple minutes, and not minutes, but then a few seconds later, you hear that pop, and I looked outside, and it's like, "Oh, that transformer just."
That when you were talking about the arcing and all that stuff beforehand, the squirrels just literally, and I didn't even know what it was.
You couldn't tell it was a squirrel. You're saying
just something was up there on fire, like fizzling, you know what I mean? And it was
squirrel on fire.
It was like little puffs of smoke coming out. Then boom! This thing blew straight up in the air and just landed in the street.
I don't know why I find that funny. It's not funny, but it's like if you say this, I'm like Jesus.
Yeah, man.
Have you ever heard of sonic boom?
I mean, once.
So when we first moved to Colorado, I'm 8 years old. I don't even have a concept of what a sonic boom is, but Colorado Springs obviously houses an Air Force base. The place that we moved was a fairly new housing development, so it wasn't on their maps that we were there yet. So when they did their training, these things would blow out over the house, because basically it looked like a prairie, right? And we had no idea what this is, and I'm outside playing, probably 8 kids. There's a bunch of us. And just boom, but you can feel it, man. And we all dropped down. I remember we dropped down, we're kind of laughing because little kids get the nervous laugh. And to me, in my mind, it's just the weirdest thing. These 2 jets go shooting overhead, and I mean, they are in and out of your sight in no time, but we don't hear them for a couple seconds, right? So again, we're not piecing together what's happening. To hear this explosion, 2 jets fly overhead, and then maybe, 3-4 seconds, not an awful long time. Then you hear the sound of the jets, but now there's no jets in the sky, and we're all looking at each other like, what the F is that? This makes no sense in our mind. So we all run home, I'm explaining it to my mother, and she's like, that is a sonic boom, which again means nothing. So it just blew my mind as a kid. She's like, the planes were moving faster than sound. And I'm like, oh, my God, it was crazy, man.
You mean if I fart and get in this plane, the fart's still trying to catch me?
It's behind me. Yeah. Yeah, I just never seen quiet planes go overhead, man.
That stealth bomber on 9/11 that flew right over top of Baltimore. I got out of my car and looked up, and I'm like, this thing ain't making a noise. And it was low. And then when it went by, there was this weird little whistling sound. And I was like, golly, man, that is... Because it was low.
But it's kind of fun. And I understand situationally. If the country's under attack, you should respond in kind. But it seemed odd that these stealths are flying so low over the city. Because I'm like, well, it doesn't matter if you're on radar if I can look up and see the goddamn thing. I mean, these things were so close to the ground. Like, wow, I don't have radar, but I see you.
Yeah, it was nuts. What exploded, blew up, or went pop? 206-421-ROCK.
Hello, Bobby. Welcome to the men's room.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Hola.
Hey, love your show. Love all your guys' story. I appreciate it.
Hey, thank you, brother. We appreciate you listening.
Now he's talking about that caller in Bristol Bay.
Oh, great story.
I found that very entertaining. I don't know what everyone else is talking about.
Yeah.
Hey, so quick story. Younger days when I grew up in California, used to run out to Mexico, buy a lot of M80s, M1000s, bring them back and blow them up, essentially. I lived by a golf course that went underneath a road that had 3 lanes, 6 lanes total, and there was a spot where the golf carts went underneath the road. It was like a tunnel that was just big enough for golf carts. We decided to put the M1000 right in the middle of the tunnel and light it. The problem was it had a long enough fuse, but as soon as we let go of the fuse, it folded up on itself. The fire jumped, and it exploded before we made it out of the tunnel.
Oh.
Yeah. Essentially, all I remember is crawling out of the tunnel. I'm pretty sure I was concussed. My buddy was throwing up on the grass on the side. I'm pretty sure he was concussed as well. And I remember looking up on the road and just seeing all the cars slammed on their brakes, and it wasn't a good scene.
No.
What did you end up doing?
We ran.
That's the proper response.
I know, but you're still concussed.
Yeah, but you're still smart enough to run.
It takes you...
We were falling all over each other. I had a bad ringing in my head for over a week, and immense headaches, and we were just scared, essentially.
Was that your last trip to Tijuana?
No, we used to go down all the time as kids, buy like switchblades and different types of fireworks, and then come back to California and sell them to kids.
Did you ever use, because there's a time in your life where a switchblade seems like the coolest thing you could own.
Oh, I had a buddy had a switchblade comb.
Everyone did. Yeah, that's exactly right.
And no one ever used them.
Right. Yep, they loved them. Yep.
I remember that one.
Sent to the principal's office once they brought it out in school.
I do remember
the comb?
Yep.
The comb?
Yeah.
It's a comb. I mean, I get it as a switchblade. You go like, hey, man, you can't bring a weapon to school, but it's a comb.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't matter. No, I mean,
but it's a comb.
If I remember correctly, and I swear to God, I think I remember this correctly. It was not the comb. But there were a couple convenience stores in Baltimore and Hamden. There was one in particular I used to go into that was not a 7-Eleven. He was the independent guy, but he was close to where I could run down and get a pack of smokes real quick at the Rotunda. And he had a plastic box that sat basically on the counter. And I know that he was selling real switchblades.
Oh, so brass
he
knuckles.
Had brass knuckles.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, almost like legitimate handcuffs that came with keys.
Good enough that you can't get out.
I mean, they're not police grade, right? But they were still handcuffs.
They're human grade.
And they were like all there. You know what I mean? Different knives, like blowtorch type lighters, like all kinds of just stuff that, you know what I mean? You don't think you could get with a 6-pack of beer and a pack of smoke.
But it was always the liquor stores. You know what I mean? You went to 7-Eleven, they weren't selling it. You go to a liquor store, there's all this booze, right? And then all these weapons. There was a guy, and he had a sign out, a handwritten sign, but he was selling canes inside, right? Like a walking cane. And I'm like, why are you having a sale on walking cane? Exactly. You know, they pull the handle, and there's this long-ass blade on it. Yeah. And it was canes and umbrellas. But, like, they just sat in a wire basket by the door. So if you, and I remember a couple times you'd go in, you know, in your weird years, like 16 to 18, where fights happen and all this crap, and dudes would go in, and he's like, hey, fellas, you're not old enough to buy booze. And like, oh, man, I just need the brass knuckles. Like, because I'm going to buy them, I'm going to go beat the living S out of somebody. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, there's always those shops that are just kind of, somebody just owns one. And there's always crazy stuff in there.
And the thing, but it sells.
You know what? They still have the all-black bags.
Here, look, here's the thing about an all-black bag. Yeah. I don't know what you have in there, but I'm a lot more curious about what's in the black plastic bag. It's like when you buy, back in the day when people bought Born and it was delivered to you through snail mail, right? And it was always discreet packaging. In other words, everyone knows you're getting porn.
Yeah.
It's the only thing that showed up in like a black wrap. You're like, that is porn.
My stepdad, he had a cane, right? Mm-hmm. And at the bottom of it, after you took the rubber bottom off of it, there was a screw bottom. And inside were all these test tubes that had a cork top. You filled those up with liquor, right? I'm not kidding you. And the first time I saw, oh, God, what's the Kevin Spacey movie? With Kaiser Sose, Usual Suspects.
Usual Suspects.
It reminded me of my stepfather. Because we would go to football games and stuff, all right? And he would kind of carry the cane like you carry an umbrella into a game, which you still could do back then. He would carry the cane, you know what I mean? We get about 20 feet, 30 feet from the door. Cane goes down the side.
Yeah.
He comes in, walking with a limp, got the game, right? And then when he'd leave the game, man, because he and his buddy Bill would get trashed, because that's just what they did. You get a Coke, you know what I mean? You put whiskey in.
Yeah, it's a college game.
I mean, and he would start that limp, man, out the gate, take a look around, because a lot of people were leaving at once, man. As soon as that went, boom, put it right in his hand, start walking normal.
Kaiser Sose.
He was the Kaiser Sose of illegal alcohol consumption. He just put the limp on the way in and on the way out. That was it. What would exploded, blew up, or went pop? 206-421-ROCK.
Hello, Rich. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola.
So, quick question for Thrill before I start, man. Hey, you ever party on the block out there in Baltimore?
You know what, man? More than I'd like to admit. The older I got...
Yes, indeed.
Yeah. You could not. It's like, look, do you want hookers? Do you want blow? Do you want drugs? And nobody can... And for those that don't understand, the block was a red light district in Baltimore, right? But here's the thing about it. It was very illicit. Everything was very open air. But at the end of the block was police headquarters.
I was going to say
they did not care what you did.
They did not care. But I will say this. You can feel safer in the block area with the police there or not than any other area. It just seemed
you weren't going to get shot.
No, people just...
You might get stabbed with a needle.
There was a little bit of a different level of what was allowed in that area.
Well,
wasn't it great?
I mean, basically, it was no bull crap.
I mean...
There's no bull crap, but some bouncer's going to get your
listen,
ass.
if you're familiar with this area, just know when I got arrested, all right? So I get arrested, and I get arrested on Halloween. This plays into
great.
So, but the thing is, that Halloween, I'm at a work Halloween party, and 5 of us agreed to be the village people. So each one of us is a person. So I am dressed as the cowboy from the village people, but when they let me out of lockup, I am on the block, the red light district, and I got solicited by every dude like, oh, hey, brother.
Black cowboy.
And I'm like, look, goddammit. I just want to go home. I am not a prostitute.
Are you in the reggae cowboys?
Oh, dude, yeah, I was.
One of the best times of my life I had on the block, man. It was fantastic.
Nice.
So anyhow, this is my story, my friends. I used to drive this old box truck for my job, man, like an old Ryder 26-foot box truck, you know, gasoline engine. Well, I started having problems. It started having problems with the carburetor. The fuel was pooling up inside of it and then detonating. So it would be like go and stutter and go and stutter. So I'm clear over on the peninsula when it dies. So they send the company mechanic out there, and he's like a Harley dude. He's all hair, you know, beard and hair, you know, just one of those guys. And he tells me to get in the truck and turn the engine over. And he gets up on the tire and he puts his face directly over the top of the carburetor. And I'm thinking, this is not going to be good. And sure enough, a few turnovers and his whole head disappeared into flames.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah. It was so fast, bro. And when he came out, he didn't have a hair on him, man.
Did he look like an entirely different person?
His eyebrows were gone. His eyelash. I was rolling. And he's like, that's not funny, god dang it, blah, blah, blah. But I told him, don't do that. He did it anyway. So anyways, fellas, that's my story, man.
Okay.
He's like the guy you don't want at the funeral.
Oh, we needed that call.
This is how Larry died. He's like, whoa, Larry, you dumbass. Like,
I told you. What exploded, blew up, or went pop? 206-421-ROCK.
Hello, Roxanne. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola.
Okay, well, we were in the middle of moving, and my son needed some butane for his lighter, and the butane was, like, very low. So he puts it on a halogen lamp and forgot about it.
Why did he put it on a halogen lamp in the first place?
I guess he said it would get more pressure in it so that he could put what little was left into his lighter.
Well, he was right about half of that.
Exactly. It would get more pressure. But we were moving boxes. I just picked up a box, and that thing went off, and it went into the wallboard, but it hit a 2x4, and it indented the 2x4 with the bottom of the butane can. My ears were ringing for hours. It was unbelievable.
Were you renting were you renting that place?
No, actually, I owned it.
Okay.
Somehow that makes it better.
Yeah, that's one of the only good things about owning a place is you're not going to
If you break something, you
just know it's on you.
Right.
Like hang a picture over the hole, whatever.
Right.
Actually, I used to do that at the places I rented as well. Move the picture. The landlord is coming.
Right. One exploded, blew up, or went pop. 206-421-ROCK.
Hello.
We did it growing up, putting holes in the wall.
Sure. Parents figured, hey, so who moved the picture? God damn it.
What happened to that wall?
Hello, Jen. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola, bicholas.
Hola.
So a couple of years back, 4th of July, we're hanging out, a couple of family friends at a friend's house, and they live along a tree line like everybody in Washington does usually. And the teenage kid goes, I gotta pee. And we're all setting off fireworks and having a good time. And Dad says, hey, just go in the trees. So instead of going into the trees, he goes at the trees. And as he's turning around, Dad pops him in the eye with a Roman candle.
Oh, you mean the eye on his head, right?
Yes.
Okay. Just want to make sure, get the extent of the damage. Did he do it on purpose?
No, he was just letting off Roman candles, and the kid just happened to be in the line of fire.
Did he still have his penis in the hand when he got hit in the face?
Luckily enough, he had turned around and had zipped up.
Okay, all right. Because to me, that's the ultimate insult right there.
Damn.
If my penis is in my hand, please leave me alone.
Still to come, Riotcast on the way. We will send spin with 10 essential albums that turned 40 this year. You are listening to The Men's Room.
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. As we continue to listen, learn, and grow, we are amplifying Black voices and perspectives in an effort to start a new COVID-19 vaccine conversation. We're sharing stories intended to help us navigate this unprecedented time together and to co-create solutions in support of the Black community. Hear these stories at weconsiderwa.org.
$20 million, $19 million, $6 million. These are all awards recovered for clients of Phillips Law Firm. To win big, you have to fight big. And Phillips Law has been fighting the too-big-to-fail insurance industry for decades. Not every case will have a multi-million-dollar outcome, but Phillips Law will fight just as hard to recover the outcome you deserve. If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident or on the job, call or click today at 1-800-JUSTICE or visit justiceforyou.com.